Hey guys, welcome to the New Tennis Era podcast. My name's Anthony Hirsch, and today I'm going to be talking about the Australian Open final, where Jannik Sinner defeated Sasha Zverev in straight sets to claim his third Grand Slam title, his second consecutive Australian Open title, his third consecutive hardcourt slam, with a performance that completely outmatched Zverev. I didn't even think Sinner brought his A-plus game, but Zverev definitely did not. I'll get into the weeds of it. Please don't forget to subscribe, Quality Shot Tennis. So going into this finals, Zverev was up 4-2 in the head-to-head on Sinner. Sinner won the very first meeting that they played at the French Open in 2020, getting an upset over Zverev, who was probably tired from the US Open back in that weird 2020 season. And then Zverev won their next 4 meetings in a row. They just played, though, last year in Cincinnati, where Sinner won a epic 7-6 in the third match over Zverev, getting revenge from their match at the US Open in 2023, where Sinner lost in a very close match in the 4th round. That match is the last hardcourt Grand Slam match which Jannik Sinner lost. He's won 3 consecutive hardcourt slams since that point. Sinner got revenge from that match in Cincinnati last year, 7-6 the third, the last time that they played, and it was also on quick outdoor hardcourt conditions. Bit hot, quick outdoor hardcourt conditions. People thought that maybe we could have a similarly close match here. For the record, I did not think so coming into the match, and the reason was I don't think Zverev was playing as well as he was last year. You hope that you keep improving every year, and Zverev for sure has in 2024, but particularly at this tournament, I did not feel like Zverev came into the match with his best level, and it shows with some of his close matches. Against Tommy Paul, he should have lost both the first 2 sets. Tommy Paul was serving for both the first 2 sets with set points. Sasha was not at his most consistent at all. That forehand really began breaking down against Sinner, and that shows he hasn't been at his best. He hasn't been serving his best, and that's just something. I mean, in the semifinals, he got a kind of lucky retirement from Djokovic. So his draw has not been, it wasn't as difficult as it was last year, even when he got just to the semis. So that's what I would say. And speaking of Zverev's forehand cross-court rallies, Zverev here was really struggling a lot. Zverev was struggling a lot. He was struggling in the rallies in general. Actually, on 0-4 shots and 5-8 shot rallies, they were pretty much even. But then you go to the 9+ shot rallies, where generally you think of Sinner as, you know, a bit of an aggressive player. Zverev is the kind of aggressive baseliner who might want to draw out rallies. So the last thing Zverev would want is for Sinner to be winning all the long rallies. Well, bad for Sinner, that's bad for Zverev. That's exactly what happened, because he was, for the 9+ shot rally, Sinner led the tally 29-14, and 9+ shot rallies won. 29-14, which once again is just not what Zverev would have wanted at all. And the forehand and just the forehand disparity in level between the two was one of the biggest things. Here's a stat that shows that and shows what happened in this match. Zverev was hitting more unforced errors off of his forehand wing. In fact, he hit way more unforced errors than Sinner. He hit 25 winners to 45 unforced errors, according to the Australian Open website. Sinner, 32 winners to 27 unforced errors. So, more winners, positive ratio for Sinner. I've seen a much better winner to unforced errors ratio for Sinner, but still positive. Zverev, 25-45 is just not good. But the stat that I wanted to point out is that when Zverev went down the line or down the middle on his forehand, he had 16 unforced errors, as opposed to Sinner, who hit just 8. Sinner only hit 1 unforced errors when he went down the middle on his forehand, whereas Zverev, I think, hit 6, maybe 7 unforced errors when he went down the middle of the court, so hitting it long. That just shows that Zverev was missing easy balls out off the forehand, which is something that Sinner was just not gifting him any forehands, and Sinner was much more comfortable redirecting the ball from going forehand cross court and finishing down the line, which could also be a reason that he was struggling the forehand cross court if he's scared of Sinner going down the line, or he just knows that he's not comfortable in this kind of pattern and he's not going to be able to finish down the line, so he wants to go especially aggressive cross court, or he just starts getting nervous, right? Because he's like, what the hell am I going to do here? There's no way I'm going to win this point. So anyway, Zverev was very much struggling on the forehand to forehand. Sinner in general kind of dominated this match, honestly. The score was 6-3, 7-6, 6-3. I'll go into over key points in the match as well, but I do want to talk about some other stuff first. First of all, Zverev was pretty good at net during this tournament against Tommy Paul. I think he won like over 75% of net points. He's been doing much better at the net in recent times. He's improved his volley. Here he won a terrible 14 out of 27 points at net. His approach shots were horrific at times, even on important points, and Sinner was hitting so many passing shots past Zverev. Zverev didn't get a single break point. It's just the third Grand Slam men's final of the century where a player did not get a single break point. And then one of the stats that popped out to me the most, and you'll understand, I think that this is a very important one. If you're just looking at stats, you might brush this one off, but this one is very important. So, Zverev was only able to win 37% on second serve return points. 37%. Sinner was winning 63% of second serve return points. That just shows that Zverev's return was not where he wanted it to be at all. If he's only winning 37% on second serve return, that's why he got no break points, in fact. The Sinner's percentage of winning first serve points, way higher than that. Sinner only served 60% first serves in, so once again, this wasn't an A+ performance from Sinner. It wasn't from either, but like I said, it certainly wasn't for Zverev. Zverev was pretty good at saving some break points. Sinner was unusually bad at, breaking when he got those chances. He only broke on 2 out of 10 break points, but he did what he needed. Sinner, like I said, dominated. At the end of the day, he won 24 more points than Zverev, which might not sound like a lot, maybe. I don't know, maybe it does, it should. But in the context of a tennis match, just imagine, this is how unequal it was. Imagine this. It's exactly equivalent to this. 2 players play a best out of 3 set match. Sinner and Zverev play a 2 out of 3 set match, okay? They split sets and have won an equal amount of tennis points. Split sets. They play an entire third set to decide the match. In the third set, Jannik Sinner wins a golden set. 6-0, doesn't lose a single point on Zverev's serve or on his own serve. He wins 6 games to love. In the third set, golden set. I think it's the first time that would have happened this whole century. 6-0. That is the amount of points disparity that happened in this match. Sinner won 24 more points, which is equivalent to 1 whole set of points for tennis. So anyway, it was not a close match. That's hopefully that gets the message across. Sinner's been so good and dominant on hard court. He has now won the semifinals and finals of US Open and Australian Open without dropping a set, which is insane. And he also got through his quarterfinal here without dropping a set. It was only against Medvedev in the quarters of the US Open, but Sinner is so good now. And he was on a 20-match win streak coming into the final. Now it's at 21. 20 was kind of a cursed number there for a while because Djokovic got to 20 matches in a row. Rafa got to 20 matches in a row to start 2022. Medvedev got to 20 matches in a row in 2023 until he lost to Alcaraz in the Indian Wells final. Not last year, but in 2023. But Sinner's now at 21. I don't know for sure. Sinner's now dropped out of Rotterdam, which I think kind of decreases the chances maybe of this happening, but I think Sinner can go on like a 40-plus match win streak. I think it's possible. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but crazier things have happened. He's in a good position. I'm just going to give a crazy hypothetical just to show that I'm going to give a crazy hypothetical just because I'm trying to show that it's not fully unlikely, that it's surprisingly likely, even if it's not probable, but surprisingly likely, that Sinner could do something crazy, right? That he could even get the record for most consecutive matches ever won. Borg currently has the record with 49 consecutive matches in a row. That's the record right now in the Open era. Before the Open era, I think Bill Tilden went like 95-1 in a year. But anyway, in the Open era, Sinner, up until Madrid, this is what I saw this when he was still going to play Rotterdam, but I checked his schedule, and here's what the stats showed. Going into Madrid, if he won the Sunshine Double, which would be very difficult to do, but he's had some success at those tournaments. Miami, he's the big favorite to win. But if he, best case scenario, wins the Sunshine Double, and then he wins all his matches at 250 and 500 level, he'll come into Madrid with a 47-match win streak. And then, yeah, you would expect him to get to the quarterfinals or semifinals like he did all last year, and then he would have the record for most consecutive matches won. Anyway, long ways away from happening, but I'm just saying that there's, Sinner seems unstoppable at the moment. The last match he won was a big, I guess, learning lesson in a way from him. He can't win them all, but the match against Alcaraz where he was up, I guess, 3-0 double mini break in the tiebreaker, he lost that in an epic right off the back of winning the U.S. Open. Since then, it's been all just dominance, and he looks almost untouchable at the moment, won 26 consecutive sets to end 2024. We'll see how long he can keep it going, but he's underrated on clay. And to say Sinner's underrated in anything is kind of insane, but it's true. So I'm not going to discount him necessarily just because it's a clay court tournament either. He had a drop shot on match point. He had a couple great drop shots throughout the match. Unlike Zverev, who hit a lot of errors at the net and was getting passed all day, Sinner went 10 for 13 at the net. And overall, just way better on return, way better on forehand rallies, way better finishing points. Even his serve, like I said, was kind of doing better numbers because he was winning 63% of second serve points, and that is something that Sasha was not doing. Zverev won just 50% of his second serve points, so Sinner winning half of those points on the second serve return. So pretty much basically what I'm saying is Sinner is doing just about everything better. He was at least backing his serve better because his forehand was just, there was such a big disparity in the forehands here that was beyond a joke. So many unforced errors off the Sasha's Zverev forehand. So now I go into key points in the match, which was a very, it was a lopsided match, not the most exciting encounter, but there were some things that I wanted to mention, so let's go over key points. The first key point that I want to talk about is in set number 1, where Zverev was serving at 3-4 deuce. And in this point, just a long point where Zverev misses a neutral backhand long. Maybe feeling like he just needs to slightly exert a little bit more pace of shot. Unable to take control of the rally. Feels like Sinner's going to take control. I don't know what it is, but he misses a neutral backhand long. Then he actually does a really fantastic job of building out the point and taking control, staying aggressive, staying on it, so that Sinner is not going to have a chance to finish off the point because he's way out of position. Gets out of position, gets Sinner out of position to the deuce side. Sinner is in the tram line hitting a forehand slice on defense. And then Sinner has a great position. He needs to come in at this point, but he has a great position to either hit it down the line or hit a shot cross court. But he hits the worst approach shot ever, right down the middle of the court, like so bad, right down the middle of the court. And then he doesn't even look like he's ready to hit the volley. He hits it into the court, into the ground. This was so bad that it didn't even land on the highlights when Australian Open did the highlights for this match, even though it was like one of the most important points of the match. Zverev built out the point perfectly, and then he just hit it right back to Sinner out of forehand, and then Zverev just not ready at all for it. I can't explain this. It's just Zverev is not in the big points, in the big matches. He does things like this that are just bad decisions. It's just brain fog, and it's also being afraid of Sinner on the other side or something. I don't know. not being comfortable coming to the net, not being comfortable approaching the net, whatever it is, he just gave a gift right to Sinner, just gifted him the break to serve for the set, which he did. Sinner held out love. Zverev does a good job in the second set of saving break points. He's even creating some of his own chances. Sinner has to play this outrageous point at 5-6, 30 all. That really blew me away, point of the match, one of the points of the tournament. To not let Zverev have a set point. That was the important point for Jannik. But it was like prime big three level stuff, with Sinner playing just absolutely just like jaw-dropping defense to offense that just blows your mind, kind of like Rafa, kind of like a prime Roger, in the important moments to make sure that he can take the set. That's what it reminded me of, and it was just really the top drawer there from Jannik, and then just with explosiveness coming towards the net as well. Just great. And by the way, when Zverev was hitting drop shots, some on important points as well, Sinner was getting to them with ease. So Zverev does not have a good enough drop shot, or doesn't have a good enough drop shot against Sinner, because Sinner has an all-time level movement right now. People keep talking about Sinner's serve improvements, and they should, but it's amazing to me that his movement was not as, let's say, weak as the serve was, but it was not it wasn't one of the best parts of his game. It wasn't great. Now it's all-time level, just from that to that, which I don't think is talked about enough. People talk about the serve, which was particularly shown as weak before, but the movement was like so many tiers below where it is now. Now it's at the all-time tier, no doubt in my mind. Anyway, it gets to the tiebreaker, and Sinner gets lucky. His first ground stroke in the rally, the third shot of the rally, his forehand clips the tape, and there's just no chance for Zverev to get it. Certainly not the fastest guy on tour, and even Alcaraz would have a tough time getting to it. Lucky net court for Sinner. Sinner hits two serves out wide. That was the serve he was going to the most often in this match, and then he hits a forehand inside out that just catches the sideline, and just like that, Sinner's up 2-0. And Sinner serving great, coming up clutch with the serve how he needs to, and he doesn't even need to hit, just pitch perfect aces, because Zverev is struggling with the pace for some reason, and just struggling with the return. His return's not that great, and I don't know. I don't know. The one at set point, the serve, I felt like Zverev could have done something with it, but he just didn't do anything with it. So anyway, it is what it is. He did return it, but like I said, Sinner just barely made the forehand in. Set number 3. I want to go to 2-3, 15-40. Zverev builds out just this very good point at 15-40 to save yet another break point. He saves a lot of break points throughout this match. Plays a very good point. Hits two very strong forehands inside out. For whatever reason, his forehand inside out was working fine. I don't know why. His other forehands breaking down, maybe he was more scared of Sinner's forehand, and how Sinner over the lower part of the net was going to keep going to Zverev's forehand, which he was scared of doing, especially on the deuce side, where he would be going cross-court, especially because he didn't feel like he's able to finish down the line. So Zverev, anyway, for whatever reason, forehand inside out was working fine, and then Zverev took his chance and hit a good backhand down the line for a winner. I don't know why he can't do this on the most important points, like most importantly when he's got, set point, or when he's got match point, or when he's a few points away, why he can't play a little bit more aggressive and step in and really take it. But also when he's down, the most important kind of down set point or down break point at 30-40. Because at 30-40 what happens is Zverev hits this very central second serve. Sinner, not even a big return. And Zverev, a very central backhand. Zverev is pulled out wide to the forehand, and then he just misses it. He goes for a pretty loopy defensive topspin shot, even though that's not his favorite shot to hit, and that, from that position, and it was never going to be a good shot the way he was just not in position to hit it. He probably more easily could have hit it a little bit flat, or hit a slice forehand or something, but he was going for this weird deep topspin shot that he just had no facilities to hit at 30-40, and then he hit it out. He was just hitting too central, and his shots were breaking down, his forehand was breaking down. So that's what happened there, and yeah, I mean, basically, Sinner played better. I mean, everything I said is, you can, I mean, in a lot of ways, chalk it up to Sinner played better, but, I mean, Zverev served fine. He was saving break points fine. He was doing some things well, but he was not able to finish out the net at all. He was not able to finish very well at all. His backhand cross court was good, but that's about it, and Sinner's backhand is very good, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it was not the most exciting Grand Slam final you'll see, but at the end of the day, Sinner wins his third Slam title, just one behind Alcaraz now, and yeah, that's kind of what I have for this analysis. Australian Open, women's side ended incredibly interesting with Madsen Keys, way more interesting than this match, to be honest, but Madsen Keys got the win in two very exciting matches over Sabalenka and Swiatek. So shout out to the WTA. They're in a very exciting spot right now. I'm not going to be analyzing those matches right now, but Madsen Keys is what a great one to see for her. On the men's side, for the first time since, I don't remember when, maybe 2015, 16, Roland Garros, we don't have a single 5-set match in the entire second week of the major. I'm surprised that that's ever happened, or at least that happened within this century. Like, that's amazing to me that happened. Unbelievable. Not that many great matches at Slam level. It's kind of unfortunate on the men's side, because even last year I felt like we were missing those really top tier matches. So I'm really hoping Roland Garros and Wimbledon bring us back to speed. I'm hoping we get that Sinner Alcaraz match that we're hoping for. I think Wimbledon, we could get it. I still feel as if at Wimbledon, Sinner and Alcaraz's level, Sinner's very good on grass is what I'm trying to say. Sinner's very good on grass. Alcaraz, we know, is very good on grass already. I think they're going to be very tough to beat by anybody. So I think if they're on opposite sides or whatever, if it's in the cards, then I think they'll play in the final, because I don't think anybody's beating either of them. But we'll see what happens. So anyway, that's my analysis of this final. And we'll see if Sinner keeps it up for the rest of the season. And yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to subscribe, Quality Shot Tennis. Check out the other new Tennis Era podcasts, all the other stuff coming on this channel. And yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for watching all the Australian Open coverage. Watch out for the live streams, other videos. I'll see you guys at the next one.